What's up, everybody? Well, I got a cool little video for you guys today. I was able to actually get my 4090. And better yet, it got here before Monday. I thought I was going to have to wait all the way till Monday, but it got here today. Looked in my email when I woke up. Nothing there, but about 1 o'clock, I was like, hey, your Best Buy order is ready to pick up. And I was like, no way. Checked. The only thing I had was this, so figured it had to be. Anyway, so here it is. I figured I would do a quick unboxing for you guys, get it installed, and at least run a couple benchmarks or something, and maybe get a small amount of gameplay from one game. Probably Forza Horizon, seeing as that's one of my favorites. But now, why don't we break into this guy and get started with the unboxing. Alright, let's start the unboxing process. I guess we'll use my cool ass knife here. At least I think it's pretty sweet looking. So let's see, I don't want to hurt the box. And before we actually unbox it, honestly, that was probably so hard I probably put a crease in the freaking box. I hope not. Nope, just a little one, but that knife's beyond razor sharp. I could have probably let the weight of it, take care of this. Surprised Misty's not here. Like, usually she hears plastic like that. She's like, oh, plastic? Here I am. But I was vacuuming and whatnot earlier, so she's probably scared. Anyway, now before we actually unbox this thing, let's just take a quick look around it. There's not too much to see. Ugh, turn this big motherfucker around. It's huge. Just has a bunch of bragging shit right here, talking about its Torx X 5.0 fan, airflow control. It's got a, what do you call it, copper heat pipe kind of thing. This one does not have the vapor chamber. That's the one difference. But all of these coolers are so over-engineered. I think they were all designed to handle like 600 watts of heat. Yet I don't think this is going to get anywhere near it because it only has 3 pins for the power versus 4 that some of the other ones have. But I didn't care. I just wanted one and didn't want to wait around. I thought this was going to turn into another one of those, oh, the bots buy all the video cards for 3-4 months, and I wasn't about to do that. So it's at least an MSI, which is the one brand I kind of wanted to give a try this time around. So we've had a look at the box. We got the wrapper off the box, so now let's get into the box. All right. So let's open this thing up here. Turn it around this way. This freaking thing is so insanely large, I had to actually move my laptop out of the way to even do this unboxing. Usually this is where my laptop is sitting. Yeah, see? I'm already bashing it into my camera and shit. That's hilarious. We'll just step over to the side real quick, and we'll just set this box on the ground. Thank God I'm just wearing a wireless mic, so I'm pretty sure you guys can still hear me flawlessly. All right. Here we go. Take that off. All right, let's look at some of the lamer things in here. So what do we get? So first and foremost, we get ourselves a little like support bracket. So you would basically attach this part. Well, you know what? F it. This is an unboxing. Let's just get it the fuck out of there. Yep, I know I'm not very nice at being nice to plastic, but I don't give a shit about the plastic. It's never going to be used ever again. So here's the support bracket. You'd connect it to your case right here, just like you would install any other PCI thing, and then it will hold your GPU up. It's got a little rubber thing right there, and they come with a couple more in there. There they are. Ugh, they come with another little box, or a little baggie of more of these little double-sided sticky tape little bumpers in case that other one wears out or something. All right, now next it looks like we've got our 3-pin power. So instead of having the 4th one out there, this one can only do 450 watts, but trust me guys, that's plenty unless you want to go set overclocking records, which I'm not personally into anymore. Most of the time I just like to do a small little overclock if I can on my GPU, a little bit on the CPU if I can, but I got a bunch of Ryzens now, so there's really not much overclocking to be done. It's more RAM tweaking than anything. So I'd rather just get in and play the game, I guess is where I'm getting at. So now let's get that out of the way so it'll come out a little easier, and it also gives you a way to actually get in there and grab the freaking thing. All right, and there it is in its case. The only thing left is, wow, it actually has its own cut up. They give you a little MSI quick start user guide and whatnot. So now, before I drop this freaking thing by accident, let's drop that box out of the way and set that down. All right, guys, let's actually break into this thing. All right, it's got its little, there we go. I basically tore it off. I was trying to tear it, but I grabbed the whole thing off of there. All right, careful, careful. And then you guys will get to see just how gigantic this freaking thing really is. Look at that. I guess from this angle it doesn't look so bad, but then, bam! Big Chungus. You know what? That's going to be the perfect name for my new computer. Once we add this guy, it will be henceforth be known as Big Chungus. So, here we go. There's the slots and everything. Here's the back of the thing. Now, I'm trying really hard not to like grab anything delicate. You've got your, bring that up a little closer. You've got your little BIOS switch. So you've got gaming and silent. On this side, you've got your little holes if you've got a support bracket for these fucking things, which this one probably won't need one, because that's why I also, even though I'm going vertical, I wanted to make sure I got one that had a 3-slot cooler, because when you've got this giant thing hanging on just 2 of those, that is what causes sag. My Founders doesn't sag like at all. I've had that thing in my secondary computer, and that bitch is almost perfectly level compared to like my, what do you call it, RTX 3080, which only has a dual slot bracket. It's freaking, I had to put a support bracket under it to raise it up because it just looked goofy. Anyway, though, gently put it back down like that again. We've got our fans, little RGB right there and right there. And I'm not gonna lie, this thing looks so much better in person. And the pictures on the Best Buy website, it kind of made it look kind of cheap and chintzy, and that's the other reason I was kind of like hesitant, but I was like, nope, you know what, fuck it. I got this in my cart, I'm fucking buying it, unless it gets sold out somehow before I get done. And nope, I got lucky and it didn't. So, that's about it for the unboxing. So, obviously you guys know me, I'm not just gonna unbox this thing and just tease you guys, so why don't we move our little operation into my game room and we'll get this motherfucker installed. I'm excited. Well, here we are in my gaming room. Obviously the computer's not on because we're about ready to modify it, but just wanted to have one more little look here at the computer with its 3090 Founders, which, let's be honest, is not a slow card by any means. Just because new cards come out does not mean that that thing is junk. I've actually, in fact, played most games I want to play at very reasonable FPS. But now games are starting to get a little bit more tough to run, at least if you want to run ray tracing. And I kind of didn't run a bunch of games on ray tracing, but this GPU seems like it should be able to handle ray tracing. And if it can't, with a little DLSS, no probs. So, games like Cyberpunk, this thing even with DLSS, unless you went performance, it was not a very good experience. And then performance still made it look a little iffy in spots. But why don't we go ahead and get this glass out of the way, move my little lucky cat. I like that thing. Literally, my luck, besides the whole Danielle situation, has completely changed ever since I got that cat. And it's not a love cat, it's just a money cat. And ever since I got it, I've had shit tons of money. So I intend to keep that thing until the day I die. As superstitious as that sounds. So go put him in a special little safe spot, and then we will get on to the installation process. I'm still extremely excited. Well, all right, we're just about ready to take this thing out. I dusted it a little bit, but I still have to dust this fan out. This fan back here I never got to dust too well, because, I mean, unless you take the card out, which I didn't want to risk breaking it or moving this thing around, and then it turns out these guys are delicate. So I'm glad that I always disconnected it the opposite way, the two 8-pins part. It always felt kind of iffy, so just being precautious. But anyway, babbling on about shit, I'm gonna forget where I was saying, but I could never really get anything in here, you know? You can't get a blowing wand in there really well. The best thing I would usually do is I'd get my other bigger blower that kind of has like a nozzle that can kind of move around, and I kind of would bend it and kind of blow it while holding the fan. But I can already feel it. Oh wow, yeah. That finger is completely dusty as hell. So that's going to need to dust before it goes into its new home, the secondary computer. But all right, no more fluff. Let's get that bad guy out of there, and let's put this awesome new 4090 in there. All right, we got the RTX 3090 Founders out with no fuss really at all. And as I suspected, that fan's pretty dirty, but it's honestly not as bad as I was expecting, considering I could never clean it that good. Alright, it looks pretty bad when you look in the corners. But anyway, no big deal. We'll give it a nice cleaning before it goes to its new home. But anyway, I need to get this expensive, gigantic, heavy thing out of my hand so I can go grab the other expensive, gigantic, heavy thing to put in the computer. But I think first, I'll do a little dusting. Alright guys, well, about ready to install the GPU. I just wanted to throw out there that you guys should always hook these kinds of things up with each individual 8-pin. Don't daisy chain with the ones, my power supply doesn't even let you do it, but some will have another 8-pin coming off of this, and people will put that into the GPU and wonder why their shit's blue screening and like frying and doing goofy shit. With GPUs this powerful, you gotta use an individual 8-pin for every single power connector. So just thought I'd throw that out there real quick. Not trying to nag anybody, I just don't want anybody to hurt their shit. That wouldn't be cool. So now, let me get this cable hooked up to my power supply, and then we'll get that badass new GPU installed. Well, all right, there we go. It's all installed and ready to go. So why don't we go run a couple of benchmarks real quick just to see how it does and maybe get a little gameplay in, and then we'll wrap the video on up. All right. Sorry about the little recording started thing. It doesn't do that in games. I kind of didn't realize that, or I would have waited before moving the mouse for it to go away. Anyway, we're just going to run normal power limit. Now, it does go up to 106. Even with 3 pins, but we're just going to leave it out of the box. So now we're going to go run some 3D Mark. And we're going to go do some Firestrike Ultra. And we'll also do a little Time Spy Extreme as well. So now, why don't we go ahead and click that. No more demo. And let's hit run. All right. So we got 22,820. 23,783, 40,088 for physics, and a combined score of 11,705. There's just little bars here. Figure to slide across here real quick for anybody who was interested. All right, now down to the detailed scores. Here they are. And if I move too quick, you can obviously pause. And then lastly, we got another little bar chart here. So I'll just cruise through here. And there we go. Moving on. Well, Time Spy Extreme's all done, and we got 16,584, which apparently is good. And this is all apparently on the silent BIOS too. I forgot to flip that over. I at least remembered to flip the switch to do the gameplay. I was wondering why it was staying at 2520 so much and refusing to turn the fans on until a CPU or GPU got really fucking hot. So these are silent benchmarks. I'll go run a huge suite of benchmarks later. This was just quick preliminaries. Didn't want the video to be too long after all. Okay. There's the bar charts again. We'll go through one more time. And now, to go run the same tests on the secondary computer. All right, let's run some Forza Horizon 5, but let's go through the settings. These are the exact same settings I actually had it on before when I did the 15 or 13, no, I think it was 15 games. 15 game little thing I did right with my 3090 before I got this card. I wanted to do a comparison because everything is going to stay the same that time besides the GPU. So anyway, that's the bottom there. So now why don't we go ahead and go run a quick benchmark. Well, all right. This thing's all done. We got that. We got all of our system configuration stuff up there. It's set as suggestion because it's low. I laugh at that. It just doesn't know what this GPU is though, so whatever. Alright, and then there's all of our minimums and maximums. We got 4 stutters this time, but we were getting a lot more higher FPS, so that tends to happen more. But with G-Sync, you won't notice stuff like that. Then we got 129 FPS max. That's way better than before. Anyway, let's go get into the actual game. Well, alright, here we go with a little bit of some gameplay here. And man, oh man, are we getting a lot more FPS than before. Oh shit. I was paying more attention to the FPS while I was playing than actually racing, so I don't like to use the rewind, but we will this time. Oh, gave it a little too much throttle there. Oh well, we'll catch this bastard. Whoa, that was close. I don't even think it hit me though. I dodged that well. Alright, let's catch this fool. Alright, so he's taking a shortcut that's honestly going to make him go slower, so I'm just going to stay on the actual road. I know it told me I had to, like, cut corners to beat him, but I'm going to prove that wrong. Alright, let's go. Viper power. Oh shit. Crap. And you might hear me double talk, but I guess the microphone was on. I guess while you're recording a Shadowplay, it does record out of your microphone. It records your microphone at the same time. I'm sure I could turn that off. I just don't do that because I don't trust it. Before it used to cut out all the time, and then I'd have to redo it anyway. So I just kind of like doing it like this after the fact. But hey, at least that's cool. I don't sit here getting all angry and saying a bunch of terrible racist shit constantly. Because the way I act on camera is the way I act in real life. I don't put on a persona for you guys. Because I know for a fact people don't like fake people. I shouldn't say it as a blanket statement, but most people don't like fake people. Let's say that. Anyway, why don't we move along? Well, alright guys. We're all done in here. Very happy. with the thing, especially considering I didn't even up the power limit. I'll probably at least just go up the power limit up to its maximum and then let the thing just do what it wants from there. That'll probably get me up to like 2800 megahertz. And be good for like 4 or 5 frames probably, maybe more, who knows. But I always just like maxing out the power limit, why not? But we're not completely done yet. We're still gonna go to my secondary computer real quick and install that 3090. So why don't we head back to the bedroom where the secondary computer is and install that real quick. And then we'll wrap this video completely up, as it's probably getting a little bit long. Well, all right, here we go, or here we are at the secondary computer here, which normally has an EVGA GeForce RTX 3080 for the Win 3 edition with a 450 watt BIOS, but now that we've got a 3090 lying around, I'm surely not going to sell it for peanuts. So I figured, why not put it in this computer and then either give that one to my mom if she wants it, or sell it on eBay for a couple bucks. Because I won't need it anymore after that. It'll just be lying around. Or heck, maybe one of my friends has it or want it for really cheap. I don't rip my friends off. But anyway, why don't we go ahead and get that out of there and get this RTX 3090 right here installed. Well, I figured I'd do a quick size comparison before we pop the 3090 in there, and I'm actually a little surprised. It turns out the 3080 is just ever so slightly thicker because the shroud goes all the way out to here and it's the fan's there. With this is just a little piece of metal. It actually goes in all the way till about right there. So even though that one's a triple slot with the thing, that one's more than like a triple and a little bit more than a triple. But yet, like I said, they only gave it 2 whatchamacallits. But I mean, I don't know why they didn't give you 3, because if you can't fit 3 of these, then you still won't be able to fit the rest of that plastic in your case anyway. So I don't know. I'm sure there's reasons they did that. Maybe to save a buck. I don't know. But anyway, why don't we go ahead and get the 3090 actually installed? Well, alright guys, we've got it installed. Now hopefully I didn't fuck that damn connector up, but had to get it to not be in front of the GeForce logo somehow. Because if you guys remember, it was sitting on my other computer this way, so these things were drooped over the whole time. So now I have them kind of down like this, and extenders are doing their job of extending, but they can't really look that cool anymore, unfortunately. But such is life with the Founders Edition, it seems. So why don't we go ahead and hope that it posts. Well, first off, before I do that, I'm going to have to get my arm in here for a second and plug in the monitor to a display port, or else we're not going to have no picture at all, just like with the last one. That's one of my things. I get all excited and then I forget to plug something important like that, and then I go, oh my god, what's going on? And get kind of agitated, and then it's like, oh, it was like a fan not plugged in. All right, there we go. All right, well, I see ASRock on my monitor, so that's always a damn good sign. Huh, interesting. Since I never had this the other way, I guess it doesn't have a light on this side, unless it's burnt out. I only see a light on this side. Does anybody know if there's supposed to be a light on that side? Because there's a light on both sides on the other side. Who knows? I don't know. Hope it's doing stuff. There we go. Let's sign in. And all right. Seems like it's all good. No, I most certainly don't want you to use that. I pretty much want you guys to use the speakers. Dang thing. But now, with this one, let's go run the same 2 benchmarks just for fun. All right, so here's the settings we're going to use. The same settings I used to use. 100% voltage, 75 on the core, and 420 on the memory for the 3090. Maxed out temp limit and all of that. And we're just going to let the fan do its own thing. So then we're going to go run some 3D Mark here. Oh, well, screw that. Let's just close that and try this again. Okay, so we're going to run ourselves some Firestrike Ultra and some Time Spy Extreme. So we'll start with Firestrike Ultra. Oh, my settings may have straight. All right, I'll go turn that off real quick. We don't need that on. But I bet if I hit that and hit apply, it'll just stop the recording. So let's just stop it anyway. All right, Firestrike Ultra, we got 12,770, which is good. The other one didn't really give me a good or great for that one. 12,915 for graphics, 29,234 for physics, and 6,621 combined. I feel like that's a little low, honestly. And here's our detailed scores. And obviously this isn't apples to apples because it's in a completely different system, but I just did this for fun, just as a comparison. So now, to the next test. Okay, so we got 9,224, which is apparently great, but I am beating people's average, so that makes sense. The other one was on silent, so it wasn't going to be beating any overclocking competitions or benchmarks. Here's our graphics and CPU score. And now let's just come down here. We'll go through this little bar graph right up here. Oh, almost forgot to do the bar graph. There we go. All right, and here's detailed scores right here. And we'll just cruise through these lines here real quick. All right, and now let's move on. Well, all right, guys, that is a wrap for this video. This one was a lot of fun. Well, mainly because I'm messing around with fun, expensive graphics cards, but still. Now the secondary computer is pretty damn insanely good. Not like it wasn't good before, but an RTX 3090 and a Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. And it also has my Elgato 4K capture card, the Mark II model. That's why it's a lot smaller. But that's all I got for you guys for this particular video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, because I enjoyed making it. And now it's time for me to go enjoy some gaming on the RTX 4090. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until the next one, peace out, guys.